Hello, everybody. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Rodney Harris, and we are in a first alert weather day because of the cold temperatures that you no doubt already feel out there this morning. Welcome back to work, by the way, after most of us had a little bit of a vacation for the Thanksgiving holiday. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to do a first alert weather day today. It's been cold. It was cold over the weekend, but with everybody sort of being forced back out this morning, wanted to make sure you knew that it would be cold. We started near freezing in metro Atlanta, and temperatures will only warm into the 40s this afternoon. So for perspective, yesterday's high was 55, so it will be colder this afternoon in Atlanta compared to what we saw this time yesterday. So that is why we have this first alert weather day in place. Here's a look at that hour-by-hour forecast for you today. 43 at lunchtime, 48 degrees at 3 o'clock. That's your high temperature today, and we are looking at temperatures that will be in the low 40s by the end of your commute. That is right around 6 o'clock. And then tonight, if you're headed out by 9 p.m., 37 degrees will be your temperature in Atlanta. So it'll be cold all day. That's sort of the bottom line. Make sure and have that coat ready to go no matter what you are doing today. That is why we have the first alert weather day. And believe it or not, it'll actually get colder on Tuesday morning. So even though the first alert weather day is for today, it's colder tonight going into Tuesday. 27 degrees is our forecast for Atlanta. So a hard freeze is a temperature of 28 degrees or colder. So as you can see, we are forecasting a hard freeze for Atlanta. Now, I do want to point out over the weekend, a lot of you did drop into the 20s, so this won't be new for most of you. But for the city of Atlanta, specifically inside of 285, it'll be the first time we've dropped into the 20s this season. And as you can see, it'll be the coldest morning of the season just about everywhere. 27 in Atlanta on Tuesday morning means 23 in Canton, 23 in LJ, 22. That is your low temperature tomorrow morning in Helen. Not impossible to see some teens in the higher elevations of the northeast Georgia mountains. So tonight, before you go to bed, make sure that you are protecting the pets, the plants, and any older pipes that you are dealing with. Make sure that those are taken care of as well. I will point out that highs are reaching into the 40s each and every day. So as long as those temperatures warm into the 40s in the afternoon, we shouldn't have any widespread issues with your pipes. Pipes become an issue whenever those temperatures don't get out of the 30s, basically stay freezing throughout the course of the day. So because we are forecasting the highs to get into the 40s tomorrow afternoon, I'm not anticipating too many issues with pipes, unless they're older pipes, and that hard freeze would have an impact. So just make sure you're ready to rock and roll. Here's a look at your cloud and precipitation forecast. So we'll see sunny skies all day today. I will point out there is a reinforcing shot of colder air that's moving in tonight. That's why it'll be colder on Tuesday morning. And there's a little piece of energy that's going to come with that reinforcing shot of colder air. So you can see the clouds start to increase from the north tonight. You won't see that, obviously, because it'll be dark. But if you look up there in Gilmer County, Fannin County, there's a little blue popping up. It's not impossible to see an isolated flurry or two in the higher elevations of the mountains tonight, for those of you higher than 2,000 feet in elevation. So this is not impacting like 99% of you, but again, if you're in those higher elevations, it's not impossible to see a flurry or two. It's way too dry to get too much precipitation, but with that piece of energy moving through tonight, we cannot rule that out. So like a 10% chance if you're in Fannin County, Rabun, Towns, Union County, specifically for those of you higher than 2,000 feet in elevation. Again, a flurry possible. Everybody else staying dry, and again, colder on Tuesday morning, 27, 44 for Tuesday afternoon. So Tuesday is another day where it will be cold all day. 25 on Wednesday morning, 51 for Wednesday afternoon. And we do get a bit of a warm-up by Thursday. I say warm-up. Temperatures moderate a little bit. Thursday morning's low is 42. That's a big difference. 52 for Thursday afternoon. Maybe a shower or two on Thursday as a weak little system passes us by. Then it'll turn cold again for Friday morning. 29 Friday morning, 48 Friday afternoon. Highs will be in the 50s over the upcoming weekend. And I will point out that we're watching the weekend for what may be the potential of some showers. The models are not doing a great job on our weekend forecast right now, but we do know that, of course, the SEC championship game, UGA in Atlanta on Saturday, so we'll keep you up to date on those rain chances. They're likely to change this upcoming weekend. Don't really have it on the 7-day right now, but again, not impossible to see a shower or two at some point this weekend, so we'll keep you up to date on that. But before we get to the weekend, it's really all about these cold temperatures. So as I mentioned before, make sure before you go to bed tonight that your pets are taken care of. Plants should be okay because we're already in the cold season, but if you have any warm weather plants, get them out of the way. And again, older pipes may be in jeopardy because of that hard freeze that we're forecasting tomorrow morning. With temperatures warming into the 40s tomorrow afternoon, I think most pipes should be fine, but if you have older pipes, watch out for that. So we'll keep you up to date on this forecast. Our next update is on Atlanta News First at noon. You can always get your updates in the First Alert Weather app, and we will keep you up to date throughout the morning. For now, here is a look at your headlines today with Joy. Joy, I hope you are off to a good start to your week.
I am, thanks to Rodney, keeping us up to date, and I was able to bundle myself up. Thank you so much for that, Rodney. Want to let you know what's happening with the YSL trial. There was some breaking news that we just learned of early this morning, and it concerns Yak Gotti. The real name of Yak Gotti is Diamante Kendrick, and what we've learned is that he was actually stabbed inside of the Fulton County Jail, and that's what his attorney, Doug Weinstein, is confirming, that it actually happened yesterday. He is one of the last two defendants now in the YSL trial. We are told he's going to be okay. He's still going to be in court today. And, jury deliberations are resuming. The jury got into court a short time ago, and they're continuing to decide the fate of both Diamante Kendrick and Shannon Stillwell. They were unable to reach a verdict before the Thanksgiving break. Last Wednesday, they asked to rewatch two videos that were shown in court. They also asked for clarification on a defense statement and closing arguments. So they actually began deliberating Tuesday. They went into Wednesday. They broke early at 3 p.m. for the Thanksgiving break and were admonished, not to view the news, social media, or have discussions about the case with their families or anyone else, really, over Thanksgiving. So they're back in court again, reviewing all the evidence, coming to a decision, hopefully, on this historically long trial. And Kendrick's attorney, actually, I got a chance to speak with one-on-one last week, saying that actually Mr. Kendrick feels confident. Here's some of what defense attorney Doug Weinstein told me.
Someone said on the internet, and I'm going to steal it from them, that waiting on a jury verdict is like kind of being an expectant father and waiting to see if the nurses are going to imprison your child.
Yep, so of course we're going to keep our eyes out for a potential verdict, and we are bringing you gavel-to-gavel coverage, which you can stream on ANF Plus, on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and YouTube, of course. Okay, I want to also let you know about another story that we have been following as well, and a new development, some new details that we're learning. A teenager is now accused of shooting and killing a 70-year-old man outside of a package store over the weekend. It happened on Metropolitan Parkway, and police say that the man was shot while being carjacked, and officers found him there on the scene with a gunshot wound. 19-year-old Jalen Mosley is now behind bars. He's facing multiple charges. We're going to keep following the latest developments here on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus. Okay, also, let's talk about this fire. Firefighters had to work overnight to put out a fire at a troubled South Fulton apartment complex. Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond reports near the Camelot condominiums, where she shows us what the damage looks like.
We could see the roof collapsed on some of the 8 units affected, though fire officials say they were able to save about 75% of this building. Crews left overnight once the fire was out, but were called back to the complex just before 5 a.m. as a flame and smoke remained. They say no one was hurt and everybody was able to evacuate. And this fire is the latest in a long line of struggles for the apartment complex. Poor housing conditions and a series of code violations forced the complex to sign a consent order with the city last year. And as temperatures plummet, firefighters say they expect to be called to more fires. Alpharetta Fire Captain Albert Kong says home heating equipment is involved with 1 out of every 6 fires during the winter. He says it's best to only plug in 1 space heater per electrical outlet.
There should always be 3 feet of separation between a heat source like a space heater or an oven, between anything combustible or anything that can burn.
And fire officials are still working to figure out the cause of the fire here at Camelot Condominiums. In South Fulton, I'm Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
All right, and you know what? Cyber Monday is now underway. We talked about Black Friday. There was Small Business Saturday. Well, today is the day that a lot of retailers are offering deals online. And Atlanta News First reporter Anastasia almost breaks down a little bit of guidance on how to know when you are actually getting a good deal for Cyber Monday.
First, compare prices. If you're shopping in store, do a quick Google search of the item on your phone to see what other retailers are listing it for. If you're shopping online, add items you want to buy to your shopping cart and watch the prices for a few days. On some retail websites, you can save for later and monitor if that Cyber Monday deal is actually cheaper or simply listed at a higher price with a percentage off to make it look like a deal. Second, check the reviews. If something is 50% off, but the reviews say it arrived damaged or breaks easily, that's possibly why the sale is so steep. Third, look for extra discounts. While in line, check the store's website for any additional coupons. If you're online, check for promo codes. Retail Me Not is one website you can check for any possible codes. They might work, they might not, but it's worth a try. If you're on Google Chrome, you can download an extension like Honey, which will do that promo code search for you and can even give you price history to see if the item is actually cheaper. Fourth, don't stop looking. Even after purchasing an item, if you find it cheaper at another store, some retailers will price match. For example, Target is offering a price adjustment for any items bought from November 7th to Christmas Eve. Fifth, using credit cards with rewards such as cashback or airline points can add an extra savings on top of that store sale. And before you head out to the stores or start scrolling, make a list of who you're shopping for and what you might want to get them. That way you don't end up overspending, distracted by all the shiny sale signs. I'm Anastasia Olmos, Atlanta News First investigates.
And more on that on AtlantaNewsFirst.com and also by downloading our free mobile news app. Now back to Local News Live.